When we speak of destiny, most people imagine it as something grand and obvious, like a shining road that suddenly appears lit up with a sign pointing forward. But in truth, destiny rarely announces itself with clarity. It comes quietly, almost invisibly, woven into the very fabric of your daily struggles, your restless thoughts, and the subtle moments most people dismiss. The tragedy of human existence is not that destiny is hidden, it's that we are too distracted, too doubtful, or too impatient to recognize it when it stands before us. Think carefully about this. Every great achievement, every extraordinary life you admire, began with what looked like a small and ordinary signal. It may have been a persistent idea, an opportunity disguised as a problem, or a challenge so heavy it nearly crushed the person beneath it. But here is the truth. What most of us call a burden is often the blueprint of destiny. What most of us label as hardship is, in reality, the hand of opportunity extended to us, though rough and unpolished. You see, people miss their calling not because they never had one, but because they expected it to look different. They believed destiny would arrive wrapped in beauty, without resistance, without sacrifice. They were waiting for ease, when destiny always comes clothed in difficulty. Opportunity is not found in comfort, it is revealed in struggle. And those who recognize this secret possess the eyes to see what others overlook. Think of the inventor who failed 1,000 times, but each failure whispered to him, "You are one step closer." Most of the world would have seen only defeat, but he recognized the signal. Think of the writer whose manuscripts were rejected again and again, yet who refused to silence the voice within that said, "Your words matter." The rejections were signals, not dead ends. They demanded persistence, discipline, and faith. The destiny of greatness always hides inside the test of endurance. The mind is quick to dismiss signals because it prefers certainty. It seeks proof before it moves. But destiny does not operate by proof. It operates by faith, by courage, by willingness to move forward in the dark. That restless thought you cannot shake, that vision of a better life that returns to you again and again, no matter how many times you try to bury it, those are not accidents. They are the silent signals of your destiny. The question is, are you listening, or are you drowning them out with excuses, distractions, and fear? Let me be direct with you. If you are waiting for the perfect moment, if you are waiting until every detail is clear and the path is smooth, you will miss it. Destiny speaks softly at first. It whispers through discontent. You are made for more than this. It nudges you with dissatisfaction. This is not where you belong. It fuels you with a dream that refuses to leave, even when you try to abandon it. And if you ignore these whispers long enough, they stop speaking to you altogether. That silence is the most dangerous thing a human being can ever face, because when destiny stops calling, it means it has already chosen another. Why is it that so many people live lives of quiet despair? It is because they were deaf to the signals. They convinced themselves that the discomfort was meaningless. They convinced themselves that the dream was too unrealistic. They convinced themselves that the challenge was too heavy. But destiny does not reward excuses. It rewards recognition. You must train your perception to see beyond the surface. What others call coincidence, you must learn to call alignment. What others call hardship, you must learn to call preparation. What others call failure, you must learn to call instruction. Here lies the secret. Destiny is not something you wait for. It is something you detect. It is not a prize that falls into your lap, but a signal that requires your awareness, your faith, and your immediate response. If you fail to recognize it, you condemn yourself to a life smaller than the one you were designed for. But if you see it and you dare to move, even when you are uncertain, you set into motion a chain of events that will lead you to greatness. So let me ask you, what signals have you been ignoring? What ideas keep coming back to you, even when you try to silence them? What opportunities have you labeled as too hard, when in truth they may be the very doors to your destiny? What problems are you running from that might, in fact, be the very proof that destiny is calling you higher? Do not underestimate the cost of blindness. The opportunity you ignore today may never return tomorrow. Life does not keep knocking forever. It rewards those who answer. The final warning is not that destiny has abandoned you. It's that you might abandon destiny by refusing to recognize its signals. And so I leave you with this: the whispers you hear, the restlessness you feel, the struggle you are facing, they are not accidents. They are signals. They are your destiny waiting for recognition. Do not close your eyes. Do not dismiss them. Because if you fail to recognize the signal, you will miss the calling. And to miss the calling is to miss the very reason you were placed on this earth. We move now to the greatest illusion that robs people of their destiny, the myth of the right time. If you listen closely, you will hear this excuse echoing in nearly every life that has fallen short of its potential. People say, "I'll start when I'm ready. I'll act when things settle down. I'll pursue my vision when the conditions are better." And so they wait. They wait until tomorrow. They wait until the children are older. They wait until they feel more confident. They wait until the world approves. And while they wait, life moves forward without them. The right time does not exist. It never has, and it never will. Time itself is neutral. It is neither for you nor against you. It simply passes. The notion of a perfect moment is a trick of the mind, a way of justifying hesitation and disguising fear as wisdom. You tell yourself you're being careful. You tell yourself you're being patient, but in reality, you're surrendering your destiny to the chains of procrastination. Think of this carefully. The world's greatest breakthroughs, the defining achievements of history, were never born in perfect conditions. They were born in the middle of chaos, of conflict, of scarcity, of uncertainty. The inventor did not wait until his laboratory was flawless. He worked with what he had. The leader did not wait until everyone believed in him. He acted when belief was scarce. The dreamer did not wait for applause. He pursued his dream in silence, in the face of doubt, and often in the presence of ridicule. If they had waited for the right time, their stories would have never been written. And so the question falls back on you. How much longer will you wait? How many more excuses will you allow to stand between you and the life that was meant for you? If you are waiting for the day when fear disappears, I must tell you, that day will never arrive. If you are waiting until the path is cleared, you will wait forever. If you are waiting until you feel fully prepared, you will die with preparation still on your lips. You see, time does not wait for you to be ready. It moves forward, and with it, your opportunities move too. Each moment you delay, someone else steps into action. Each hesitation costs you ground. Life is not generous with second chances. It presents the opportunity, but it will not beg you to accept it. And if you fail to act, that opportunity will be handed to another. This is how destiny operates. It belongs not to the cautious dreamer, but to the courageous doer. The greatest deception is believing that inaction is harmless. You convince yourself that waiting will not hurt you, that tomorrow will always come. But here is the truth. Every day you wait, you are not standing still. You are falling behind. Every day you delay, the fire of your desire grows weaker. Procrastination is not a pause button. It is erosion. It wears away at your belief, your energy, your vision, until eventually the dream is no longer alive in you. The mind clings to the fantasy of the future because it fears responsibility in the present. It is easier to say, someday, than it is to say, no. But someday is a graveyard where dreams are buried. Someday never comes. The only time you have is this moment. The only doorway to destiny is the decision you make today. Do not misunderstand me. Preparation has its place. Thought has its value. But if you confuse preparation with postponement, you will trap yourself in an endless cycle of waiting. The perfect time will always be one step ahead of you, like the horizon you can never reach. The only way forward is to declare that now, this imperfect, uncertain, messy now, is the time. Consider how many people look back on their lives and say, I should have. Those words are among the heaviest any soul can carry. They are the confession of those who waited for the right time, only to discover that time does not wait for them. You have a chance right now to avoid that regret. You have a chance to silence the voice of procrastination before it steals your destiny. There will never be a time when you feel completely ready. There will never be a day when the fear is gone, the path is smooth, and the applause is loud. But there will always be a chance to step forward, trembling if necessary, uncertain if necessary, but moving nonetheless. And the moment you do, something extraordinary happens. The path begins to reveal itself only after you take the first step. The clarity you seek does not precede the action, it follows it. So I ask you now, what are you postponing? What dream have you put on hold, waiting for perfect conditions? What decision have you delayed, hoping for a safer season? And how long will you keep telling yourself that tomorrow will be better than today? This is the final warning. Stop waiting. Stop lying to yourself with the illusion of the right time. Your destiny will not wait for you, and if you hesitate too long, it will pass you by. The time is not next year, it is not someday, it is not later. The time is now. And if you still doubt me, then reflect on this truth. The graveyards are filled with people who were waiting for the right time. They took their dreams with them into the dust because they never realized that the only right time was the moment they already had. Do not join them. Act now, because now is all you will ever have. Fear is the most cunning thief of human destiny. It whispers softly, it disguises itself as logic, and it convinces you to stay where you are rather than step into where you are meant to be. Fear is patient. It does not need to destroy you in a single day. It only needs to hold you still long enough for your destiny to slip away from you. And the tragic truth is that more dreams have been buried under fear than under failure. You see, failure is not the end. It is a teacher, a guide, even a stepping stone to growth. Every person who has reached greatness has known failure. But fear is different. Fear paralyzes you before you even begin. Fear locks the doors that were meant to open. Fear tells you that you are not ready, not worthy, not capable. And once you accept its lies, you will never move forward. Think about how fear operates in your own life. It does not always shout. Sometimes it hides in excuses. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough experience. Sometimes it hides in comparison. Others are smarter, more talented, more connected. And sometimes it hides in perfectionism. I'll start when it's flawless. I'll act when I know everything. These are not truths, they are masks of fear. They are the barriers it builds to keep you from acting. But here is the paradox. Fear only shows up in the presence of potential. You do not feel fear when you are safe, when you are small, when you are doing nothing of consequence. You feel fear when you are standing at the threshold of something greater, when you are touching the edges of your destiny. Fear is not proof that you are weak. It is proof that you are close to something powerful. The very fact that you are afraid is often the clearest signal that you are on the right path. The problem is not fear itself. Fear is part of being human. The problem is when you allow fear to dictate your choices. If you obey fear, you sacrifice your future for the comfort of the present. You trade destiny for safety. You exchange what you could become for what you already are. And let me tell you, that is the most expensive trade you will ever make. So how do you conquer fear? Not by waiting for it to disappear. Fear never vanishes. Even the boldest among us feel it. The difference is that they act anyway. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is movement in spite of fear. It is the decision to step forward while your knees are trembling, to speak up while your voice is shaking, to take action while your heart is racing. You will never eliminate fear, but you can train yourself to move through it. Philosophers and psychologists alike have pointed out that fear is nothing more than imagination turned against us. It is the mind projecting failure before it has even occurred. You are rehearsing defeat in your own head before you have even stepped into the arena. And if your imagination has the power to invent defeat, it also has the power to invent victory. The choice is yours. Will you let your mind be a weapon against you or a tool for you? Look at history, and you will see the same pattern repeated. Every individual who changed the course of their life or the world had to confront fear. They felt it, they battled it, but they refused to surrender to it. The great entrepreneurs who risked everything, the leaders who stood in the face of opposition, the artists who revealed their souls to the world. They all heard fear whispering, but they chose not to obey. And because they acted, their names are remembered, their impact felt, their destinies fulfilled. Now, turn the lens inward. Ask yourself, how many decisions in your life have been dictated by fear? How many times have you chosen the safer road, not because it was right, but because it was less frightening? How many opportunities have you let pass by because fear told you you can't? And most importantly, how long will you continue allowing fear to be your master? Understand this. Fear will always be present when destiny is near. But it is not a wall meant to stop you. It is a test meant to prove you. It asks one simple question. Do you want your destiny badly enough to walk through the discomfort, the uncertainty, the trembling of the unknown? If your answer is yes, fear becomes fuel. It sharpens you, it awakens you, it prepares you. But if your answer is no, fear becomes a prison, and you will remain locked inside it for as long as you obey it. So I challenge you to rethink your relationship with fear. Stop treating it as a warning to retreat and start treating it as a compass pointing forward. Stop letting it dictate your choices, and instead let it remind you that you are alive, that you are growing, that you are standing in the presence of your destiny. And I leave you with this truth: fear is not your enemy. Your enemy is obedience to fear. The next time you feel it rising within you, do not shrink back. Step forward. Because destiny does not belong to those who never felt fear. It belongs to those who refuse to bow to it. Desire is powerful, but desire alone has never built anything lasting. It is the spark that ignites the fire, but without discipline, that fire burns out as quickly as it began. Discipline is the bridge between longing and achievement, between the dream in your heart and the reality you can touch with your hands. Without it, destiny becomes nothing more than a wish, floating aimlessly in your imagination. Look around and you will see countless people who are filled with desire. They want success, they want wealth, they want freedom, they want purpose. Their minds are crowded with visions of a better life. Yet, year after year, they remain in the same place. Why? Because desire is not enough. They lack the structure, the commitment, the relentless consistency that turns vision into reality. They wait for motivation, but motivation is fickle. It rises and falls with mood, with energy, with circumstance. Discipline, however, is steady. It does not ask if you feel like it. It simply demands that you do it. Consider the athlete who trains every morning, not because he feels motivated every day, but because he has disciplined his body and mind to obey his vision, not his feelings. Consider the writer who produces page after page, not because inspiration flows endlessly, but because discipline has built a habit that will not be broken. Consider the entrepreneur who rises before dawn, who studies, who works tirelessly, not because every day is exciting, but because discipline has taught them that consistency compounds into greatness. These are not extraordinary people by birth. They are ordinary people who made an extraordinary choice: to be ruled by discipline, not by impulse. Here is the danger: when you lack discipline, you may believe you are standing still, but in truth you are sliding backward. Life does not allow neutrality. Every action, every decision, every habit is either pushing you toward destiny or pulling you away from it. The hours you waste are not harmless. They are seeds of regret planted in your future. The indulgences you excuse are not innocent. They are small cracks that weaken the foundation of your greatness. Discipline is often misunderstood as punishment, as if it strips joy from life. But in truth, discipline is the highest form of self-respect. It is the recognition that your destiny is too valuable to be sabotaged by laziness, too sacred to be delayed by excuses, too great to be wasted on meaningless distractions. Discipline is freedom. It frees you from the tyranny of your moods, from the weight of procrastination, from the chains of mediocrity. Think of a sculptor chiseling stone. Each strike of the hammer seems small, almost insignificant, yet over time, the form emerges. That is how discipline works: through repetition, through daily choices, through persistence that seems invisible in the moment, but undeniable in the end. Without those strikes, the stone remains unformed, and the masterpiece hidden within it is never revealed. Discipline is the hammer that reveals the masterpiece of your destiny. And yet, many people resist it because it feels demanding, because it requires sacrifice. But what they fail to see is that there is no escaping sacrifice. You will sacrifice either way. You will sacrifice comfort for discipline, or you will sacrifice destiny for comfort. The question is not whether you will pay a price. The question is which price you are willing to pay. Discipline asks for effort today so that destiny can reward you tomorrow. Indulgence asks for comfort today but demands regret for the rest of your life. Discipline is not only about great leaps, it is about the smallest decisions. The choice to rise early or to stay in bed. The choice to read a page or to scroll endlessly. The choice to focus on your craft or to drift into distraction. These small choices, repeated daily, shape your future more than any grand moment of decision. Destiny is not built in a single day of inspiration. It is built in the countless days of discipline that others never see. So ask yourself, are your habits carrying you toward the life you say you want, or are they betraying you? Are you ruled by discipline, or are you a prisoner of impulse? The truth is written in your routines, in how you spend your time, in what you prioritize. Discipline is not glamorous. It does not shine in the moment, but it builds a foundation so strong that destiny has no choice but to rest upon it. And here is the greatest secret: once you master discipline, destiny becomes inevitable, because discipline removes the question of F, and replaces it with when. It eliminates the uncertainty of waiting for the right time or the right feeling, because the system you have built through discipline carries you forward regardless of mood or circumstance. Destiny is never lost to the disciplined. It is drawn to them. So reflect deeply on this. Every action you take is a vote for your future. Every disciplined choice is a declaration that your destiny matters more than your comfort. And every time you yield to laziness, to distraction, to excuses, you declare that your destiny can wait. But destiny does not wait. It will pass to the one who is prepared, the one who has paid the price in daily discipline. And so I say to you, let your desire be the spark, but let discipline be the engine. Let it drive you when passion fades. Let it sustain you when fear rises. Let it carry you when others quit. For discipline is not only the bridge to destiny, it is the proof that you are worthy of it. Because in the end, destiny does not reward those who dream the most. It rewards those who do the most consistently, faithfully, day after day, and that requires discipline. There is a truth about destiny that too many people ignored. It is not only shaped by your thoughts and your habits, but also by the company you keep. You cannot walk into your future if you are chained to people who live in the past. You cannot soar if you surround yourself with those who crawl. The people around you are either adding fuel to your fire or pouring water on it. And if you are not careful, their influence will quietly shape your destiny more than your own desires ever will. Every dream requires energy, and energy is contagious. Spend enough time around people who doubt, complain, and settle, and their energy will infect you. At first, you may think you are strong enough to resist it, but negativity seeps in quietly, like smoke filling a room. One comment of doubt becomes a chorus. One friend's laziness becomes the standard. Before long, you find yourself lowering your expectations, shrinking your goals, and accepting less than what you were created for. The danger is subtle because it rarely happens all at once. You don't wake up one day and decide to give up on your destiny. No, it happens through slow erosion. It happens through the conversations you hear, the jokes about failure, the discouragement disguised as advice, the pressure to be realistic. These are the ashes of mediocrity, and if you walk with ashes long enough, your fire will eventually be extinguished. But there is another way. Surround yourself with people who burn with passion, who believe in possibilities, who refuse to settle. Their fire becomes your fire. Their vision sharpens your vision. Their commitment inspires your commitment. The company of people who are striving, building, and growing does not allow you to remain stagnant. It demands more of you. It calls you higher. It forces you to rise to the level of your environment. That is the power of fire. It spreads. Think of the greatest achievements in history. Rarely were they born in isolation. They came from circles of thinkers, innovators, leaders, dreamers who sharpened one another. Destiny is not built in a vacuum. It is built in an environment of accountability, encouragement, and shared ambition. Even the strongest among us grow weary when we walk alone, but in the company of fire, we find renewed strength. So I ask you directly, who is shaping your destiny right now? Who are the voices you allow into your mind, the influences you allow into your heart? Do they ignite belief in you, or do they extinguish it? Do they challenge you to grow, or do they comfort you into staying small? Your circle is either your fuel or your funeral. It takes courage to separate yourself from people who no longer serve your future. It feels uncomfortable to outgrow the friendships you once relied on. But understand this, loyalty to the wrong environment is betrayal of your destiny. Staying in the company of ashes does not make you noble. It makes you stagnant. You owe it to your future self to choose wisely, even if it means walking away from those who cannot or will not walk with you toward your destiny. This does not mean arrogance. It does not mean looking down on others. It simply means recognizing alignment. Not everyone is meant to walk with you for the entire journey. Some were meant for a season, not a lifetime. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner you can open space for the right people. The fire bearers, the destiny builders, the ones who will challenge you when you grow weak and celebrate you when you grow strong. Your environment matters because it shapes your standard. Alone, you may allow yourself to compromise, to slip, to quit. But when you are surrounded by people of discipline and drive, compromise feels out of place. Excellence becomes normal, growth becomes expected, and mediocrity has no room to survive. That is the gift of fire. It purifies you, it strengthens you, it pushes you beyond what you thought possible. Do not underestimate the cost of keeping the wrong company. One negative voice can delay your destiny for years. One friend's doubt can plant a seed that grows into your own disbelief. One partner's fear can hold you back from opportunities you would have seized. Destiny is too precious to be placed in the hands of those who cannot see it, cannot value it, and cannot walk with it. So be ruthless in your evaluation. If someone is constantly pulling you backward, if they belittle your dreams, if they drain your energy, you must choose them or your destiny. And the choice is not really about them, it is about you. Because every day you allow ashes into your circle, you allow them into your future. But when you walk with fire, everything changes. Your energy rises, your vision expands, your standard sharpens. You no longer settle for good enough, because the people around you are chasing excellence, and excellence becomes the air you breathe. With fire beside you, your destiny is not only possible, it becomes inevitable. And so I leave you with this truth: your destiny will not only be defined by your desire, your fear, or your discipline. It will be defined by the company you keep. Fire or ashes, growth or decay, progress or stagnation, the choice is yours. Choose fire, because your destiny depends on it. There comes a moment in every life when hesitation is no longer harmless. You may convince yourself that waiting will not cost you, that another chance will appear, that destiny will circle back when you are ready. But the truth is harsher: destiny does not wait. Opportunities are alive, and like all living things, they move, they shift, they pass. If you do not seize them, they will belong to someone else. Life is filled with stories of those who almost succeeded. Men and women who stood at the threshold of greatness, who had the idea, the vision, but who hesitated. They delayed, they doubted, they procrastinated. And while they stood still, someone else stepped forward. History does not remember those who almost acted, it remembers those who did. You must understand that destiny is not patient. It does not linger outside your door knocking forever. It calls, it waits for a moment, and if unanswered, it moves on. That idea you keep putting off, someone else is already working on it. That opportunity you hesitated to accept, someone else has already seized it. That dream you carry inside of you, if you delay too long, the fire will burn in another. Life rewards boldness, not hesitation. The great tragedy of hesitation is that it feels safe. It convinces you that doing nothing is neutral, that standing still does not hurt you. But hesitation is not safety. It is silent surrender. While you hesitate, time is moving. While you hesitate, others are advancing. While you hesitate, doors are closing. And one day you wake up to find that the season you were waiting for has passed. The opportunity has expired, and the destiny that was once yours has been handed to another. This is why urgency matters. Not recklessness, not impulsiveness, but urgency. A deep recognition that time is the most precious resource you possess, and that every moment of hesitation is a moment lost forever. You cannot recycle time. You cannot reclaim yesterday. You cannot pause the clock. All you have is now, and now is enough if you act. Think of those who achieved greatness. They were not always the most talented, the most educated, or the most connected. But they acted. They stepped forward when others stood still. They claimed opportunities others ignored. They moved boldly, not because they had no fear, but because they refused to let fear chain them to hesitation. And because they acted, the world remembers their names while the hesitant are forgotten. The question is not whether opportunities exist. They are everywhere. The question is whether you are bold enough to claim them before they vanish. Destiny is not promised, it is presented. It arrives in the form of moments, decisions, and chances. And every time you face one, you stand at a crossroads to act or to delay. One path leads to growth, expansion, and destiny. The other leads to stagnation, regret, and loss. Consider this: how many times in your life have you said, "If only I had started then"? How many chances have you looked back on, knowing that if you had acted sooner, the outcome would have been different? These regrets are not accidents. They are warnings. They are reminders that hesitation costs more than failure ever could. Because failure teaches, but hesitation robs. Failure moves you forward, but hesitation leaves you behind. So what are you waiting for? The conditions will never be perfect. The fear will never disappear. The path will never be fully clear. If you are waiting for certainty, you will wait until life is over. Action itself creates clarity. Movement itself creates momentum. The path is revealed only to those who walk it. You may believe you have more time, but life is not promised in abundance. You cannot bargain with time. You cannot negotiate with destiny. Every day you delay is one less day you have to fulfill your calling. Every hesitation brings you closer to the grave with your dreams still inside you. And the saddest truth is this: the richest place on earth is not the banks or the markets. It is the graveyard where countless dreams, inventions, books, businesses, and visions lie buried, because their owners hesitated until it was too late. Do not let your destiny join them. Do not allow your hesitation to bury what was meant to live. Act now, not tomorrow, not next year, not when you feel ready. Now. Because now is the only moment you truly own, and now is the only place where destiny can be seized. So I leave you with this: life is not waiting for you. Destiny is not waiting for you. The world is not waiting for you. If you delay, you will lose what could have been yours. But if you act boldly, decisively, courageously, you will discover that destiny was never distant. It was always one decision away. And that decision is yours to make.